you know what? Should you supercharge your car? And that's an internal question. Will you be satisfied with more horsepower and torque, or do you want the V8? What car do you want to take?
The white one.
The white one?
Yeah.
Let's take the blue one. Alright guys, so we're going to talk about a pretty popular topic, and that is, should you supercharge a V6 or just get a V8? Now this is an interesting topic because you hear people all the time basically flip-flopping between either supercharging their V6 or just going up and getting a V8. And I thought I would weigh in. As a former V6 owner, I had my V6 Camaro for about 3 or 4 years. And after I purchased it, it wasn't long before I started thinking about supercharging that car. I wanted the LS engine. And I thought about the LS engine years and years before I got my Camaro. I got my Camaro because I settled, okay? I got it because it looked great, it sounded great, low miles, the price was phenomenal, and I didn't want to extend myself or my budget to accommodate that LS engine. So shortly after, I just kept thinking about, if I supercharge it, will I be happy? If I pull up next to a V8 and crush it, would I still be happy? And I kept coming back to the same answer, and that was no. There's more to having a V8 than just a faster quarter mile time. It is nice to have a V8. I fantasized about having a V8 since high school, and stepping on the gas and hearing that deep, nice rumble to it, hanging out with other V8 owners, popping the hood. It was something that I wanted to do, and all while, in my V6, I loved my V6, but I knew, that it wasn't a V8. And, there are some people that just could care less. They don't care about the exhaust note. They don't care how many cylinders are under the hood. Just like I don't care that I'm driving an RT over a 392. Some people need to have that SRT. Some people need to have that Hellcat or the 392 engine or whatever. So, each person is completely different. If I was not a person in high school that would continuously want or fantasize about having that V8, things probably would have been a lot different, because I love the exterior of my Camaro. I thought, the car was in really awesome condition. The price tag attached to it was unbelievable. The insurance on it was great. So, if I didn't have that desire to get into a V8, supercharging that car would have made a lot of sense. But you have to understand what it is that you really want, when you're doing this kind of stuff. And if you find yourself constantly, thinking, I want a V8, adding more horsepower and torque to your V6 is only going to pacify the situation. It's going to make you happy for a little bit longer until you want the V8. And that's what I thought about when I was in my V6. I ended up getting an intake, a catback exhaust, and a couple other modifications. And then I just stopped and said, you know what? I don't really want to continue down this route, because at some point I know I'm going to get a V8. And even if I make this faster than a V8, I know I'm going to trade it in for a V8. That's just who I was. That's what I wanted. And so I recognized that you know, that was ultimately my goal. And so rather than spending my money on that V6, I started saving towards a V8, and I ended up in a V8. Now I have 3 of them sitting in the driveway. So, you know, you have to understand your goals. You know, everybody's goals are different. Okay. So, you know, just keep that in mind, that not everybody has the same goals, and some people absolutely love having that V6. Some people can't stand it, but understand what it is that you want and then work towards that every time. A lot of people, they dog the RT because it looks like a V6, and a lot of V8 owners can't stand that their V8 looks like a 6-cylinder. Me, I love it. I absolutely love it. This thing is such a nice sleeper. I love the aggressive styling, etc., etc. But the point that I'm trying to make is that 2 people can have 2 completely different goals or opinions on a car and what they want to do with it. So understand what it is that you are trying to do with your car and work towards it. So I have no intention of doing anything like getting out of this RT, so I don't have a problem investing in it. You know, if I right out of the gate said I want a 392 Scat Pack or Daytona, or I want a Hellcat, I would stop investing in my RT and just put that towards another car. At no point did I purchase this and say I'm sacrificing. I am settling. You know, and like I did in the past with my other car. So yeah, you know what? Should you supercharge your car? And that's an internal question. Will you be satisfied with more horsepower and torque, or do you want the V8?